I feel like my nails at some point are just gonna fall off. It's gonna be like something right out of, I don't know, what's that zombie Walking Dead?
Personally, I feel like you're kind of in a cleanse. You're in a beauty cleanse and you don't even realize it. You
I
know,
am?
you stopped with the lashes.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
We moved to the much less harsh hair dye due
Yep.
to other things.
Mhm.
You're now tipping to the nails and gonna maybe dial that back, possibly. Even if you dialed it back every other time, it would be helpful. It's like, okay, don't smoke a pack a day, smoke a half a pack a day. You know, like you're dialing it all back. You are in a beauty cleanse. You do not realize
That
it.
is the worst advice I've ever heard, but I love you because it's how we do. Yes.
Yeah, like just don't do full
Don't eat
throttle,
the
go
box
half.
of cookies, just eat half the box. On that note,
Sure.
everybody, hey everyone, I'm Amber,
And I'm Ryan
and this is Art Beauty, the real truth.
about the fake shit no one should smoke.
Not cigarettes, at least. On that note, by the way, my shelfie, there's a funny story about this, and it's funny that we let in like this. So I take this yoga class at Jiva Mukti Yoga, and it's great. And this guy was talking about this bomb. So they went around to everybody at the end. I don't know if you ever done a yoga class.
I
Sometimes
have.
teachers will like put something scented on your face at the end when you're in Shavasana. It's awesome.
Yeah.
So he put something on, they were rubbing something on the shoulders. And at the end, I said, that's amazing. That's amazing. What is that stuff? And he kept saying, it's China White. It's China White. You sure about that? China White. China White. So anyway, it is Jivamukti China Gel White.
Oh.
But it is. It's China. Can you see that?
Yes.
Because I was like,
Perfect.
that ain't the China White that I know. But it feels great. The active ingredients are probably super toxic. Camphor, menthol. But this stuff, I mean, it's like the same stuff that's in Icy Hot. But for some reason, this one works so much better. So it's my shelfie.
Wow. I love it.
Yeah.
Especially for the wintertime. And you
Yeah.
get those like, it's cold, it's achy, it's like,
Yeah.
Probably good for when you have a sickness or a cold.
Or something. But like now I'm just, after this interview, I've got to be honest. There's a point at which it's like, what are consumers supposed to do? We've got toxins everywhere.
We do. We absolutely do. But we also have like, is it safe to say we have like the highest numbers of cancer than any country?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good though that I feel like as consumers, we are starting to cause brands to be more transparent. More
Because then,
consumers are becoming smarter than ever with things to look out for. But nail polish, I mean,
in Europe, half of that stuff wouldn't be on the shelves.
maybe. You know what? The next
Maybe.
time
No, I'm telling you, check it out. And in the drugstores, there's like everything is so much better because their FDA or whatever doesn't let it go through.
That's where Boots came from, right? Boots was like the UK brand that everybody loved, and it came over here. I digress, though. Have you ever gone to get a manicure in Europe? It is so expensive. Actually, anywhere outside, manicures in New York, it's the one thing that we get a deal on here. A mani in New York, you can get it for like $12. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am.
Right.
But I feel like anywhere else you go, it's like 30.
Minimum.
Yes,
absolutely. If you're rubbing someone's hands and feet, it's definitely an upcharge, in my opinion.
But like I remember I was in London once and I was going to go get a gel manicure and it was going to be $100. And it wasn't like at the Red Door Salon and Spa. It was at, some
next door bookery. Yeah, no, I know.
Not even like it was a questionable salon at best. So
same thing with a blowout overseas.
Oh,
like, just to get styling is considered like a wedding style.
Oh.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Are people just not as vain as us?
Well,
No,
no,
they're
I don't
not.
think so. No, we have like between the Amazons and the dry bars and the manicure pedicure places and the instant gratification as Americans that we have. I mean, it's true.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
But
so
my client just said that she completely had an allergic reaction to a blow dry places like shampoo and conditioner, right?
really,
Yeah, like instantly had dry scalp and flaked like within a day or two due to the product because it's like mass marketed and like it's not done well and it definitely has bad stuff in there.
oh my gosh, I got somebody pitched us to do, and I can't remember the name of the brand right now. And she was like, I'm working for this hair care company. Um, and I was like, oh, maybe we'll bring, like, that could be interesting. When I Googled it, it was like lawsuits up, down, left, and right because people's hair was falling out.
Yes,
Oh,
100%. Same thing. Do you ever look into that when hair care thing where
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yes.
Except one of my girlfriends did it and she loved it. So, she also had a lot of hair, so maybe she didn't realize she was missing some. Love you, Rachel. I mean, she loved Wen's hair care. But today's episode, interesting thing, we think about all the stuff that we put on our bodies, in our bodies, on our faces. But how many of us are really paying attention to what goes on our nails? You all might want to listen to this, especially if you're doing that dip, because I promise you, you will never, ever, ever do a powder dip manicure again.
And guys, I didn't leave you out on this one. I asked, I got us in there. How, the best tips on the man manicure.
I want to get right into the meat and potatoes because we pay so much attention to everything that we put on our face and on our skin and
Consume.
and consume.
Yes.
But our nail polish can also be quite toxic.
You're absolutely correct. The toxic trio is formaldehyde, toluene, and dibutyl phthalate. That's a tricky one to say.
Okay.
But those were the first trio that people started to realize, wow, these are super bad for you. Why do we have these in our nail polishes? So that was the first to kind of start going out of the nail polish industry.
And can you talk to us a little bit, like what is it that's so bad about? Because I've got to be honest, like, I don't know that I've ever stopped to like read my nail polish bottles. Have you, Ryan?
You have, because when I opened Ryan Darius Salon in 2007,
Well,
I
with Butter
lunch
London.
with Butter London.
Yeah.
And you were on the tip. We did some videos for
Fox.
Fox. We did a lot of stuff on it because we were kind of like pumping it. But it didn't last. And as a New York girl, y'all had your crackberries still. You all had blackberries, and your that manicure chipped in 2 days, and you needed a redo.
Yeah.
As a New York woman, it just didn't quite work.
I mean, full disclosure. So before this segment today, my nails were disgusting. And, but part of that is because I went and got a regular mani and within a day they had chipped. So I'm doing gel, which I'm sure is like, that's got to be 85,000 chemicals, correct? Are my fingers going to fall off? Do I need to be worried?
So your fingers are not going to fall off, but there are definitely things you should watch out for when you are using those gel products or the dip powder products.
Yeah. How bad is that stuff?
Right. So there was like that video that went viral about the dip powder that was, really sketchy and not the cleanest to use and the most sanitary. So I think consumers are more aware of that now, which is great. But just thinking about something that is so lasting on your nail, that prevents your nail bed from breathing. It really prevents, like any like sort of natural, if you're using oil on your cuticles, it's not exactly helping your nail bed as much as it should be when you have something that lasting, coating your entire nail bed. And the process of putting that gel and the dip powder on is very, very damaging. Like you can even have permanent nerve damage if someone sands too much or files too much. I know it's scary, but that's something you need to think about.
I mean, yeah, when they take off, because Ryan, you don't do gels, but when they take this off, I mean, underneath it's like
raw.
So scary. And also just like flaked layers, and I'm just like, quick, cover them up again.
Yeah, right. And that's something that 10 Plus Free really has tried to combat with our polishes and our treatments, because I mean, I will admit I'm a reformed gel polish user and dip powder user, because you think it's so much better when you're on the go and whatnot. But when you really think about how long you're keeping that product over your nail bed and how much you're damaging your nail bed to put it on and to take it off, you have to soak your nails in acetone. And that is so drying.
So just recently, somebody was like, oh, actually, it was like a salon. I went to, a new salon, and she said, you should try the dip powder. And all I've heard about that, because she was like, it'll last for like a month. And I said, I don't want that, first of all, because like the grow out is going to be disgusting. But also, it does. I've heard it takes like 20 minutes to soak that off. I don't even like doing with like the gel, which is 5.
So the number one thing they teach you when you go to hair school or cosmetology license, or you get your nail tech license, is it's 100% about sanitation and not cross-contaminating your client. And a number one way to do that is to double dip. How on earth are you going to, I know products are expensive. I know the new stuff is always the most expensive. So you're going to tell me when you're not looking that they're not shifting that powder back, that like the residue, like back in the other jar, like gross.
But wait a minute. What I thought, and again, in all fairness, I've never done the powder. I thought it was just one jar that everybody dips into.
Everybody dip. That's even worse.
Which now I'm realizing how disgusting that is. Am I correct? Do you know? You said, Michaela, you've done the...
Yeah, I mean, all the salons I've been to, they use the same base to dip in, and then the same colors get used over and over and over again. And I mean, as much as the nail techs are trying to do their job and trying to make everything sanitary, that just doesn't guarantee that everyone is, doesn't have something wrong, or, there's so many things that could go wrong.
Gross. Or like if they nick you when they're, like with the nippers.
Yes, and that's something that could seriously happen. I mean, a lot of gel polishes that we've heard horror stories of people of getting contact dermatitis, just horrible things. Yeah,
I can't. And how many people don't wash their hands after they pee?
Right.
Gross.
I mean, that's fair.
I mean, like, let's just stop, because I could keep going.
Right.
There's so many things. And if I even brought my cosmetology book to you, Amber, and showed you the bacterias that I had to of course I memorized them. I couldn't tell you half of them today, but they are like the most disgusting looking things in photographs that you've ever seen.
Probably great for like a diet, because you'll never want to eat again, right?
No, you'll probably never go to a nail salon again.
Shoot. Whenever we do pieces that are talking about anything that's green or non-toxic, I do think as a consumer, it's really tough, because when you read a label, sometimes it might not say, this has formaldehyde in it, but it can be something that is equally as toxic. Am I correct, Ryan? With a different name. Like, how are we to...
Or combining two of the ingredients actually makes an aldehyde, which is equivalent to a formaldehyde. So it's very tricky, back in the day, at least. That's what they would do.
How are we as consumers supposed to weed through the good and the bad and the ugly?
So our advice to consumers is to really do your research on the brands that you're spending your hard-earned money on and what you're investing in, because you're not only investing in that company, but you're investing in your health and your beauty.
Okay, so the top 3 things to look for, you said, were formaldehyde. Isn't there DBP? Is another one
that's the dibutyl phthalate.
Right, which is terrible. Yes. And the third one was
toluene.
Toluene.
Yeah.
What are some of the other, top baddies if we should be looking out for?
Yeah. So the ones that we always like to be super transparent that we're 21 free of are the xylene, guanine, camphor, carmine. We are gluten-free, lead, mineral oil, styrene, parabens, all those things that I think consumers are starting to hear them more and more, that products should be free of these things. So I think it's important to look for brands like 10 Plus that are naming all the things that they're free of.
Gluten-free? Or am I, is that real?
What's gluten ever in a nail polish?
Gluten sometimes can be used for different aspects of a nail polish. So there's a lot of hidden things in nail polish that might be used to make it last longer, to give it a certain
adhesion. Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
If people are really gluten sensitive, I was under the impression that was only like stomach wise, but it's also nail polish is something that can cause a reaction.
And
Well,
shampoo.
right. Well, anything that you're putting on your skin, I
Mm.
mean, your skin absorbs so much. It's the biggest organ on your body, right? And your nails are an extension of anything that can be absorbed. So you should be conscious of, if you really have that sensitive of an allergy, you have to be really conscious of what you're putting into your body, because you never know what's
Sure.
really irritating you.
Yeah. And then your products are also, you said vegan.
Yes, we're 100% vegan. We are plant-based as well, and we're cruelty-free. Like, it's 2020. There's no reason for any sort of brand to be testing on animals. We just said absolutely no to all of those things.
What can we do? So wearing nail polish in general,
Mhm.
if you leave it on for a while, your nails will start to yellow.
Okay,
Are
yeah.
there any things that we can do about that?
Yeah, well, so that starts with using a really good base coat, because that's kind of a barrier between your nail and the color you choose.
And
So
how
that's the
long
first step.
how long, like, should you really be leaving your polish on for?
Well, our polish lasts 10 plus days. So that's when you're using the base coat, 2 thin layers of polish, and then a top coat. So, I mean, as long as you're taking care of your nail beds, you can go for a while, but it is nice to give your nails a break and to really just look into like your cuticle care and your actual
Mhm.
nail care. So that's a time maybe you can look at your diet and say, oh, my nails might, need this or look a little dry. And that's when you can really think about the care you're giving your nails.
Here's a little tip to everybody at home too. When you are doing a manis in the salon, I always like to bring my own two things. I like to bring my own color if I can, because I've seen it too many times. They thin out the nail polish with like a little bit of
Mhm.
acetone, and that's totally degrading the adhesion in your nail polish. So it's going to chip. But
Yeah.
if you must use those colors, bring your own top coat.
Mhm.
Right? Because that's going to be protective. Bring your own base coat, because that's going to help with the adhesion. And that it's not being, I guess it wouldn't be watered down, but being thinned out by and compromised by things like acetone.
And used by 19 other people that day.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a really great point. Trying to bring your own products to the salon is such a great tip. If you find a brand you really love, keep bringing it to the salon. Maybe your salon will think, oh, maybe this is a good brand to look into. And they can
Mm.
help bring that health to other customers coming in.
Are you in
How?
New York, by the way?
We are in New York. Yeah, we're in upstate New
Ooh.
York. So we're a little outside of the city.
Oh, okay. So you're outside of the city.
Yeah.
Ryan, I don't, I feel like I have seen lately more often than I'd like to admit. A lot of the salons, they've got those UV pouches.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I've been noticing, and it will make me walk right out of that salon, is that a lot of salons will actually not, they'll pull out the UV pouch, but they're not opening it from the correct end. They're definitely faking it.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Have
they're
you
like
seen that?
they're like reusing.
Yeah. Where they're not
Yeah.
even like really
Mm.
sealing it. It's like, I'm just going to put it in the back end, take it out, make you think that I'm dumping it out, but you can see like the area that they're supposed to, like, when you pull
Rip
open something.
open like you're at the
Yeah.
dentist and they open it in front
Yeah.
of you because it's
Yeah.
been cleaned. And yeah, no.
How
Yeah.
bad is that? Really
Yeah.
bad?
Well,
Yeah.
it's really scary. But also on the topic of like LED lights and UV lights that you're constantly putting your hands in, if you're getting gel or dip powder, those are the same lights that are in tanning beds. So constant exposure to that, even though it's in smaller doses and it's not as strong as a tanning bed, but putting your hands into that over time can really cause a lot of skin damage and really irreversible results. So that's
Yeah.
another thing that you would be conscious of.
There's companies that have, they actually reached out to me, Ryan. They were like, we want to do something on the Mani gloves that, are SPF, will
Mhm.
provide some SPF protection. But as much as I applaud a company for coming out with that, like, who's really gonna
You'd be
remember?
surprised.
Well, I guess I really remember to bring my own base coat and top coat. So as I'm saying that, I should just shut up. But okay.
Now, for the guy, for our male listeners, and listen, and I know some ladies out there, they hate how their men keep their fingernails because some guys, it's a little bit goes a long way, but when a guy doesn't do his hands, it's awful. What can you how can you speak to the male customer for you guys, and what are the like top tips on like, keeping a good man manicure?
That's very punny. Thank you. That's a good question. So the one thing that we always tell people is that you do for your nails can tell a lot about your diet and your health. Make sure you're drinking plenty of water. As with all beauty, anything beauty, it all starts from within. So your diet's super important. But, some guys work hard jobs and they use their hands a lot. But even if you're typing at a desk all day, using a nice, clear base coat can be really helpful. If you're giving your nails those extra nutrients that will last you a couple days, that's better than having nothing and just having your nail beds exposed to whatever you're doing. So nourishing your nails is the best.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Another way to nourish nails, do you recommend like cuticle oil on a regular basis?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Cuticle oil is a great way to help nourish your new nail that's growing.
Yeah.
So that's also why, because cuticles, when they're moisturized, look super nice.
Yeah.
But it's also to nourish the nail that's currently growing. And we'll actually be coming out with one within the next 30 to 60 days. So.
Ooh,
Nice.
nice. Yeah, because
Yeah.
not every guy out there is going to throw a top coat or a base coat on, but I think
That's
they would
fair.
do a cuticle oil in the long run. That would be
right.
Good tip. Congrats on the new one.
Yeah, thank you. That was one of our goals for people who don't like to necessarily have that feeling on their hands or on their nails, is to make sure that it was fast absorbing and that it didn't leave a super oily residue, but it was just, it was there. You could feel it being healthy and rejuvenating your nails, and then you're good to go.
And then like top tips, because again, there is a reality. People do the gel polish because it lasts longer. So when you're going back to a regular polish, are there things that we can do besides just wearing gloves all the time to help extend the manicure?
Yeah, we also like to suggest putting an extra. So let's say you do your manicure on a Monday and you just want a little extra bit of gloss or a little extra bit of protection. Do another top coat on Friday and it'll help take your nails a little bit longer. And also when you're painting them, tip the end of your nail with a little bit extra. You see them do that in the nail salon. They'll kind of go around the free edge of the nail.
Yeah.
That totally, from your base coat to the two polish coats and the top coat, that totally changes how long your nail polish will last.
What about a dry manicure? Does that really make a difference?
I think it can, but I mean, we just love traditional manicures, so.
Like soaking and the whole thing? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you don't always have the time to do that, but I mean, your nails will thank you for it. They'll really look great within the coming days.
All right. Thank you, Michaela, so much. So if people want to find your product, 10 plus free, where can we go?
You can go to 10freechemistry.com, and we're also on Amazon.
Oh, good. Okay, yeah, I'm looking here. And how many, it looks like you've got a ton of colors.
Yeah, we have 30 colors right now, but we'll be coming out with a ton of new colors throughout 2020.
I'm so excited because, I have a 6-year-old daughter, and I've been starting to take her to the nail salon, and I've been cringing. And now I'm so excited. I have a product that I can actually introduce to my daughter that's going to be good for her.
Oh, that's really nice to hear. Yeah, we hope that this is something that parents can use with their children, teaching them about clean beauty and just getting people away from all those toxic ingredients. There's no reason for them now.
Nope,
do you think that 10 free will ever, or 10 plus free will ever go into something that's like a more of a long lasting, like a gel?
You never know what could happen. If we could find a way to do it in the most non-toxic and healthy and plant-based way, we'll figure it out.
Listen, Ryan, we keep it real here. We look at skincare. We're into the organic. But at the end of the day, there's reality to, we got to do this.
I'm not laughing. I'm not laughing at you. I'm loving you with laughter. Okay. That's what I'm doing.
Well, hey, guess what, everyone at home? If you want to love me with laughter too, you can always reach out to us here on the podcast at hello@artbeautypodcast.com. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Instagram at Art Beauty Podcast.
And check us out on our new platform. Is it still new anymore, or should we just say the other platform?
If you want to see us, if you want to see all the glory and my fabulous but toxic nails.
YouTube.com/Art Beauty Podcast for the latest and the greatest. And as always, we will see you guys next Tuesday.
Bye.
Thank you.